Hey guys, welcome to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be having our final review of Dear Desolation by Thy Art Is Murder. So I'm going to open the floor up with this one of what I think. I really feel that there are a lot of highs and a lot of lows for this album for me, and it kind of evens out into the album being alright.
Okay.
Now, usually, on this channel we'd like to end on a high note, so I'm going to start with my negatives of the album, one of which being a lot of the songs sound the same.
Yeah.
I
got that too.
I said this last week that, the first 4 songs, like that, around that area of songs, like it was fresh and all those songs were unique and they sounded nice. But then the latter half of the album, it felt like at that point, Thy Art Is Murder kind of threw their cards out on the table and there was really nothing new happening, so it just sounded like everything you heard from all the other songs.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like almost every breakdown of this album sounded the same.
Didn't get old. It got old fast.
It's like the same one every time, and as it sounded cool previously, the more I heard it, it's like, enough. Can't give me a different breakdown.
Yeah.
The length of the album, being typical for deathcore, being somewhat short, this album's at 38 minutes.
Yep.
I felt kind of was messing with me at times because they switch grooves a lot throughout the songs. So it kind of makes the songs feel longer than they are, and at times I just kind of don't even know when a song starts and ends.
Yeah.
I'll put the album on, do some work or whatever, and then I'll go look at the album like on Spotify and it'll be on like the 3rd track already. I'll be like, I didn't even notice that. I had no clue. So it kind of flows, but not really in a great way. It flows in like, I didn't know this song was over yet. One cool thing to mention that I liked though, because that was my main gripe. One thing to mention that I liked was the solos. There weren't many, but when there was, they were unique. It did not really rehash itself over and over. The solo on Into Chaos We Climb, I felt was great. I really liked the atmosphere that
was not
solo
bad, yeah.
gave.
Yeah.
I think the title track, another solo, also sounded good. Sounded a lot more kind of classic, kind of death metal.
It reminded me of a Slayer solo, that one.
Yeah. That one's
very similar in style to a Slayer solo.
And I liked that there was the variety of those 2 different kind of solos, and it wasn't oversaturated throughout the album.
That's true, yeah.
That was good. I really like the intensity of some of these songs, especially when you hear them fresh, when it's not already in your head of every song sounding similar. It's fresh. It's like, oh, these guys are getting into it. This, you feel a lot of stuff going on there. I like that.
Good
exactly.
energy, yeah.
Good energy. But I still felt that a lot of it was kind of the same. I didn't really feel that it was really standing out to me as like, oh, wow, that was great. At least the more I listened to it.
Fair enough.
I'm going to hand the floor to you, see what do you think of this album?
I share a lot of similar feelings as you. I felt like a lot of the songs did kind of sound the same, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't make the songs bad. But what it does is it prevents any song from standing out, or anything from standing out and being like, wow, that's a cool part, or that's a cool thing. There was a couple small things here and there in certain songs, but nothing that really wowed me. Like you said, the album's a little short, but that's typical. A couple things that I did like about the album. Number one, I felt like the band kind of is starting to fit into their own skin, which I mentioned in our first impressions video, and I still feel strongly about that. It's not a huge drastic thing, but it's a subtle thing. But I just found that their past albums sounded way too much like other bands to me. Now, there's a spider.
The spider.
That's okay.
He's on it.
He'll just go on you, and he'll be a part of this video. You probably can't even see him. He's like super tiny.
Really small.
But anyway, you can squish him if you want to. I don't have feelings. So. Anyways, the band I found is starting to find their own skin. They're starting to get their own sound, and I really like that. That was a positive for me. They don't sound a lot like other bands, like I mentioned before. They're starting to gain their own sound. Great thing. Another thing I liked about this album is the bass. And I'm talking strings and kick are both really, really heavy on this album. If you guys have a system with good bottom end, this album will shake your room. It'll shake your car, it'll shake your room, your speakers will fall off the shelves. This album has really thick bass on it. I like that. I like bassy music. and it's not overdone. It's not super bassy through the whole thing. It's just in the right spots, and I thought it was nicely done. The album's well produced. It sounds good, but overall, it's basically just it's a typical deathcore album. Nothing stands out as amazing. Nothing stands out as being super impressive. Once again, another point I made in the first impressions video was that the drumming is the most impressive part of this album. I still feel that way. I think the drumming is the best part. I don't know who the drummer is. I probably should have looked it up before we recorded this, but he's a great drummer. I like his style. He's fast on his feet. He's very precise. He does some really sick rolls and fills and things like that. Really like that. All in all, pretty solid album. Didn't love it, but I'm gonna pass it back to you so you can give your score. Let's hear what you give Dear Desolation.
So I was kind of struggling to find exactly, what I wanted to score this album, because I found a lot of positives, I found a lot of negatives, and at the end of the day, I was really trying to decide, do I still enjoy this as an entirety? And I think this is a good album. If you're a deathcore fan, if you're a Die Artist Murder fan, this is an album you should definitely check out because it's still enjoyable.
I agree.
I don't feel that, it goes up to the place that toe tag albums would go. So I'm just trying to think, how, positive do I really see this album? It's not really like totally solid, but it's enjoyable for what, Die Artist Murder has presented to me, like while listening to it. So I'll probably have to give this one a 6.5. I think, does it reach the same place that it would other albums that I'd give a 7? And I don't really feel it does because of how stale some of the songs get over time. But I still feel this is enjoyable for me to listen to.
Fair enough.
So what score do you give it?
I share much of the same views as you. I feel like, this album's it's great if you listen to it a couple times, but it gets old pretty fast. Like I mentioned, there's really nothing special that stands out in any of the songs, so they all start kind of blending in, and I found myself after listening to it over and over again, I found that I just wanted to basically listen to something else. There's nothing really attracting me to it or holding me to it, but I did enjoy it. I felt like it's still a good album. The songs are still good. The band's performing well. So I'm gonna give it a 6. A little lower than yours because I feel like it's a mediocre album and it's kind of in the middle as far as quality goes, but it's still more on the good side than the bad side because there are some good things on this album like we mentioned before. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for me, 6.5 for TV Fish here. Not bad scores, but not great scores.
Yeah.
But like he said, if you guys are fans of deathcore, this is still a great deathcore album. If you're fans of Die Artist Murder, it's still right in the same vein as all their previous work. So we think you'll like it if you're a fan. So check it out. Give these guys a chance. We reacted to Puppet Master, their single, the other day, so you guys can check out a reaction video. But that's pretty much it for this album review. So be sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe for more stuff. We got more album reviews coming, more reaction videos, all kinds of fun stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
Later.